I feel like the Habs will need to adapt to how Hutson quarterbacks the power play eventually, whether it's on the second unit to start so Matheson can still be on the first. And what I mean by that is the way he moves around so much. I think the Canadiens are, if I'm reading it correctly, the way how mobile Hutson is, it just seems to me like the Canadiens are going to have to not that they're stagnant now, but like you got a couple guys moving back and forth on the half wall, like Suzuki and Caulfield kind of rotate a little bit.
Right.
Slav goes to the front of net. Sometimes he's on the half wall. I think there's just going to be more movement in general, more deception. There's going to be more room for deception so that, like, you don't even know who to defend on the Habs power play. Eventually, Hudson's going to be quarterbacking it, and there's going to be so much movement, puck movement, but player movement specifically, so that you're not going to be able to predict where guys are going to go. Maybe it's too much movement in my head because it sounds great, but I just feel like he's so good on his feet. What do you make of where I'm going with this? Does that kind of make sense?
Honestly, okay, so Alex Burrows is out of a contract, so let's just assume that he signs another one, right? He's extended. He's still the power play coach. I would love to be in his shoes because having these tools to work with, right? It's like endless possibilities. You're limited by your creativity. So whatever the coaching staff decides to do, right? What kind of system they want to run, they have so many options, right? Lane can just do about anything in the offensive zone. It's like having 5 forwards, really. Yeah. And I think, I'm just excited to see it. Yesterday we saw like a smidge. He was on the second power play. Unfortunately, I would have loved to see him on the first, but nonetheless, he's going to be on the first very soon. And you know what? A lot of people are saying, maybe he'll start the season in Laval next year. Don't expect him to make the team out of camp. Nope. He's not touching Laval. He's not touching Laval. And tell you right now, really? It would make no sense for him to play in Laval because he wouldn't learn. He wouldn't learn in Laval. He would stay the same. Sure, he'd be on the first power play. He'd dominate, but he needs to play against the best and with the best in order to improve. In order to see what he is lacking and improve on those facets. Slav, right? We were talking about sending him down because he was lacking confidence. Jack-Eye was sent down because he was lacking confidence. It seemed like Barron was sent down because he was lacking confidence. That's why you send guys down to Laval. It's not to develop them. It's to help them get their game back. Lane Hutson knows what he's doing, and he is confident out there. He knows that he will embarrass people, right? And he will do it. He will do it. But he needs to make those mistakes in the NHL in order to learn from them, in order to grow. So I'm going to tell you right now, he's not seeing the Rocket.
That's pretty bold. And maybe it isn't because of what we've seen. Like, confidence was on full display, though. Like, he did not look at a place.
No.
Oh, okay. The guy's smaller than your average defenseman, whatever. So was Torrey Krug, Quinn Hughes, the guys that, have typically been, propped up, right, in today's NHL as star defensemen. But it's interesting you say that because certainly his dad, Rob, doesn't believe that it's out of the realm of possibility. Everyone just assumed it's going to be Hutson and Reinbacher in Laval next year. So that may not be the case from what I'm gathering. Maybe it's going to be Engstrom and Reinbacher in Laval next year.
I think that's more probable.
That seems to me like maybe. So what makes you say that fairly quickly here, just by, the first little tester? What makes you really think that? Is it just the confidence right now, and it's like a Slavkovsky situation where you just like, are they using what they did with Slav to the point where it's like, if guys are ready, they're ready. We're not going to hold them back.
Exactly. Right. I think, right. Okay. So the beginning of the season, we were talking about, okay, maybe they're not developing Slav properly. In fact, they were. That's exactly how you handle a high offensively potential player like that, right? These elite minds, these elite hockey minds need to be around the best at all times in order to play at their best and to grow and to learn. I want Lane learning from David Savard, from Mike Matheson, from Caden Gooley, from Stéphane Robida. No disrespect to Laval, right? But I want him to learn from the best. He is at that level. Like, we saw it. We have We have proof in front of our eyes. He is at that NHL level, and he will make mistakes. Okay, don't get me wrong. He will make mistakes. Everyone does. He's a rookie defenseman. You can expect those mistakes, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. He needs to make those mistakes in order to learn, and he'll have the coaching staff and the tools and the help to learn. So if he struggles at any point in time, I'm not sending him back. I'm not sending him down to Laval. I'm keeping him up, and I'm giving him the reps because that's what he needs. He's at a level that is beyond the AHL. I'm not saying he will get bored or anything like that. There's players that need to go through the AHL to make that transition to then the NHL. He's already at the NHL level. He is. So what's the point of sending him to Laval? To me, it's just clear. I really don't see him going there.
Is this just a situation where he's got it, and you gotta fuel the fire? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's how you develop a player like that, right? Elite skill. When's the last time we've had a player like we can talk about in that sense, where like he's already got it? Caulfield started his career in Laval. Took him 10 games. 2 games. He started 2 games in Laval, scored 4 points, and then he went up with the Habs, right? All 5 points in 10 games. Then after that, with the whole Dominique Duchamp thing, he lost confidence. It's not like he didn't know what he was doing. He needed to adapt. This guy was an NHL skilled player, but he needed to get his confidence. 5 points in 6 games in Laval, boom, back with the Habs, right? And now we see 65 points in 82 games. Terrific season. Fantastic. That's what he needed, okay? If Lane loses confidence, which I don't think he will, because that guy knows he's him. He's him, okay? But if ever he does, then maybe you play with that option. But right now, like, no, not a chance. Playing with Papa Savard, I think it's absolutely the best pairing for him. But he went up against Patrick Kane most of the night, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Idol growing up, which is awesome, but nonetheless, he contained him, right? The only thing Patrick Kane did yesterday was score a shootout goal. So that's in large part because of Lane. I thought, a lot of people saying, oh, he's not good defensively. He can't contain in his own zone. Not true, right? Sure, he's not going to be the most physical guy, but he is so smart. His hockey IQ is just beyond everybody's, and he can position himself in a way to contain the offense. I saw that yesterday. And
you mentioned the way he contained and how he played defensively, and we saw like his first period of his first NHL career against the Red Wings, and the atmosphere was electric in Detroit, by the way. That was a fun looking place at Little Caesars Arena to go see that game. And Lane back checked and got back. I mean, like, I think he got maybe he didn't get back on the one goal, the first Detroit goal in the game in Detroit, but I mean, like, that wasn't entirely his fault. But the point is, what I'm saying is, I think he showed he can play better defensively than he was given credit for initially. And then offensively, just the elusiveness and, what you thought was his first NHL goal ended up being Slavkovsky's for a good little chunk of $250,000 bonus for that. So I think Slav bought about 20 steak dinners for everybody, or he's going to be doing that. But you thought Lane scored his first goal. Tell me about that moment.
I mean, he was dancing on that blue line the whole night. It was so beautiful to see, right? You see it on footage when he does it in college. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see it in person. It's even better. Drew, it's even better in person. It's mesmerizing. This guy's going to embarrass forwards for 20 years, okay? He's going to break so many ankles. It's ridiculous. But
dude, I called him the ankle breaker. That's my nickname.
Honestly, like, he's just I don't even want to think about being a forward trying to, figure out where he's going to go and what he's going to do. Like, I think David Perron actually did the best thing, and he just backed off. He just backed off of Lane at one point. I just saw that, like, he was trying to follow him around, and at one point he just gave up. He's like, all right, do your thing, and I'll cover another guy. But when he shot that puck and it went in, I was sitting on the other side of the ice. So From my angle, it looked like it was his goal, so I was freaking out. Obviously, I thought I just saw his first NHL goal, but tipped by Slav. Honestly, I'm still happy, right? He gets the primary assist, 2 primary assists in 2 games. Not too shabby. I think we're going to see that for quite some time, eh?